Mike's not going to be here today. And as the kids say in certain parts of France, who cares? So we are going to get Cuaron to direct Bond, right? Not so fast. Apparently, he might not direct the next James Bond film. For the past few months, there have been multiple rumors indicating that Children of Men and Gravity director Alfonso Cuaron would be taking the helm of the new James Bond film. The famed filmmaker previously turned down directing Quantum of Solace back in 2008 when Amazon took creative control of the franchise and installed producer David Heyman, who worked with Cuaron on Harry Potter and The Prisoner of Azkaban. Cuaron was reportedly interested again. In March came a report indicating that writers had already been hired for the project and that Cuaron had met with Amazon about a new take on the property. In early April, Cuaron himself appeared at a masterclass session in Paris, and while not specifying the film by name, appeared to confirm that the film was under discussion, but emphasized if it happens, indicating that things still had some way to go. Now, World of Real is reporting that, according to their sources, they are hearing it's not happening and he's not going to direct, but they have not been giving a clear reason as to why, beyond speculation, a deal cannot be reached. Cuaron hasn't directed a film since 2018's Roma. He's coming off last year's Apple TV series Disclaimer, which bombed on arrival. Amazon is moving fast on Bond ever since they bought out producers' creative control of the franchise, but nothing is expected to move much until a director is locked in place. All right, Steph, you hear this news, and this is not the best news, I don't think, because I think we were all pretty high on the fact that we'd like to see Alfonso Cuaron do this. But I think, as they say, maybe a deal couldn't get reached. Maybe it's not true at all. Maybe he still is doing it, or maybe he was never going to do it in the first place. What do you make of this news?
Yeah, I'm not totally sure. I definitely would have loved to see a rendition of his take on the Bond films. It could be a few things like you're saying. I'm not sure. There could have never been as serious of a thing as it was that we made it. And also, it's like when we're dealing with these huge networks like Prime or any other network, you have to be able to work with them, and who knows what they were asking of him or any director who's going to fill this role. Maybe they want to be super hands-on, and maybe he's a director who doesn't want that. I could
Right.
kind of see that being a thing. But yeah, I don't know what they're gonna exactly do, but I was reading some of the just like comments on various articles from fans of the Bond. I wish Mike was here. He should be here to
I
speak
know.
about this. It is like it seems like there's a very mixed idea of where each of them want the Bond franchise to go. And I don't know. I feel like either way, it's going to be super hard shoes to fill.
Yeah, I mean, I think so. I mean, it's weird because in one aspect, I guess the argument could be like it's not really shoes to fill because he never really had the position, right?
Oh,
But
yeah, yeah, I mean, just, like, the open
in
spot
general,
of
right?
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
in general,
Mhm.
yeah, in general, it's a thankless job until it isn't, I guess, right?
Yeah.
Because it's like everyone's gonna judge you, everyone's gonna do that. I mean, look at these kids, these poor kids that get the Harry Potter franchise, right? It's like it's so crazy how much things have changed where because I was having this conversation yesterday on our live stream, and it's like when what a Paige who's been in the live stream many times over brought up the point. It's like when we were kind of growing up, not your generation, but more so my generation, when we were growing up, we could just go enjoy movies, not have to have this kind of discourse back and forth. And when actors were announced in movies, they didn't get shit for it because there was no internet really to do that. It's not to say that society wouldn't have done that, by the way. Society, just we didn't have the tools to do that back then. But nonetheless, these kids can't even enjoy the fact that they were cast in this because they have to if they go online, which most kids do, they're probably just going to see a bunch of crap that they're getting. So it's not fun for them already. They even started. And the same goes for someone who's going to direct this that the audience doesn't think is right for the directing role, and they don't get an opportunity. And we're guilty of it too. It might be something that they announce, and we go, I don't know, their last thing. Like look at Len Weissman, by the way, who I am not a fan of. I don't think, again, not as a person, I don't know him as a person, but as a director, I don't think he's a very good director. So when they announced him as for Ballerina, I'm like, well, my anticipation just went down on that one. But then when I heard that Chad Skleski had kind of stepped in and done his thing, my anticipation went up. Um, but it doesn't mean that if you're Len Wiseman, you're like, well, F that guy. I didn't get a chance to prove it yet. So, and it's kind of
Right.
the thing that you're saying with whoever steps in for Bond. So it's going to be tough. I'm always excited to talk about trade coffee. Coffee's not just a drink. Honestly, it's like a ritual. It's a lifeline. It's the bridge between when you're half asleep and you're ready to just conquer the day. I know it is for me. And if it is that essential, why do you want to settle for anything less than extraordinary? That's where trade comes in. I love trade so much. It is part of my routine every morning. It is the #1 U.S. coffee destination. It brings you fresh coffee from over 50 of the country's top roasters. Trade's prices are on par with grocery store brands, but the quality, though, it's for me, it's next level. Plus, you are supporting local roasters. It really is a win-win. And if you're headed out on summer vacation with Trade subscription flexibility, you can pause it, you can shift delivery when you're away, and resume when you're home, ensuring that you're going to get the coffee. I swear by Trade coffee, guys. You know I do. If you've been watching my show long enough, you know that I can't shut up about Trade coffee. I love them. I love the different qualities. I love the quantity. I love the taste. I love the smell of it. I love Trade coffee. Right now, Trade is exclusively offering our listeners 50% off your 1-month trial at drinktrade.com/Christian. That is a deal. That is drinktrade, TRADE.com/Christian. Get 50% off for your 1-month trial. Drinktrade.com/Christian.
I know. It's just you're talking about the Harry Potter kids, and it's like I see them and I'm like, "Oh, cute. Okay." And I saw a lot of positive comments, but of course there was the negative comments, which is so crazy. It's like this cycle that will never end, even though every time someone gets bullied bad enough to like leave the industry or never do acting again, we're like, "Okay, we learned our lesson," and then only to happen again. And it's like we haven't even seen these kids perform, so it's just crazy, but it happens to literally everyone, no matter how proven you are. In this announcement, in this article, I scrolled down to the comments and there were some comment was like, "Oh, I hope it's Nolan. He would be great." And then like 50 comments were like, "Nolan's overrated." I'm like, "You can't even win. You can't win. You
No,
can't win."
no, there's always somebody who's gonna have something to say about like, it was even the other day when I told you I had that goofy show that I did on, and I was like, "Oh, I'm sure everybody is gonna, enjoy that." It was fun. We laughed. We had a good time.
Right.
And of course, there were people who pushed back on it, didn't. One person who wrote on the thing, "First time was good, then the bit got annoying, I tuned out." And in my head, I'm going, "Fuck off." But publicly, I'm going, "Fuck off." And but either way, it's like but you can't have everyone enjoying it.
No.
No, you can't. It's like the same way that my mom, my dad always told you the same thing. Look, you might want everyone to like you, but not everyone's gonna like you.
Right.
It's just not how it's gonna go. And especially as you say, with when you look and everybody has something to say all the time, because what social media has done is that it has made people not real to the people who are typing, to where they feel in their heads they're never going to meet these people, they're never going to have an interaction with them, they can say whatever they want in the same way that we have any conversation with anybody. You can just go, "Oh, this person sucks, they smell, they look like their hair is horrible, blah 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 blah, have this," and you're like not even considering that the person is looking at it, or even maybe you do consider it and realize, well, I don't care, they're never going to talk to me, they're not going to say that's that it's not going to affect my life, I can just go on and do whatever I want to do. And you've just ruined somebody's day, like this poor kid that was cast as Hermione.
Right.
Like she's a child. She is a child, and there are grown people who are out there saying how she shouldn't do this. You haven't even seen this person act. You haven't seen a single frame of this kid, and you're attacking this child for getting cast in a show. Shame on you. Shame on you.
It's wild.
It's horrible.
It's
It's
wild. I
horrible.
thought they
It's a
looked
child.
adorable. I obviously am curious what they're gonna do as a show because I think the movies were great, but it's give them a chance or don't watch it.
Yeah,
But
it's true.
why bully kids who are probably so excited? They're probably
Because
on
of
the
what I just said
internet.
to you. But what I
Yeah,
just said to you, Steph, it is a political thing that has happened now, and it has nothing to do with the kids for these people. It's just they're making their statement known.
yeah.
Boom, this is how I feel about it, and they don't. There's no regard for who's taking the brunt of it. And in the same way, look with Bond, when you look at what's going to happen here, as you said, people. You mentioned Nolan, and go no. You see, you mentioned Spielberg. They go, no, he's horrible. Yeah, 5 people or whatever. But whoever Spielberg shouldn't do Bond. I'm just using him as an example. But I think that Cuarón, getting back to the kind of the heart of what we're talking about with the story here, Quran not doing this with Amazon, I think, hurts because I think they need that caliber of director to launch this new era of Bond with Amazon.
Yeah, I hear you. I feel like it would be a very interesting pick, but it's not. I do still think that they can achieve what you're saying, which is find a caliber of director like him. And I agree with you that they should do that, because Prime has had good stuff, but it's not been able to like fully distinguish itself yet as its own individual production in
Right.
the same way that I feel like Apple has done such a great job of. Netflix always has stapled itself that Max is notorious for, the certain types of caliber of show. So Prime is, it feels like desperate to get there, and they're buying these huge franchises, but they haven't yet seemed to be like, oh, like, because I have Prime, honestly, for the in-home theater movies, like the movies
Mm,
that drop, and so I buy those movies. That's why I have it, and, like, I love Invincible, I watched Wheel of Time, I liked Rings of Power, but it's not, like, to me in the same way where you're like, I have to keep this subscription if it wasn't for the movies.
right. Um, I think they need it. I think they need someone big. So if they don't get Quran, we'll see who they do get. But what do you guys think? Put your thoughts in there. Let us know.